What is up? In the house, Saturday night show. What is good, everybody? What's good? Hammer in the building tonight after leaving me cold last night. Nah. What up, Hammer?
Yeah, buddy. Nah, bro. Yeah, I'm in the process of moving. So we finally got the move done, or the 90% of it done today, yesterday, pretty much since early this week. So the move is officially done, and I am back in the building. I know you missed me.
It's not the same by myself, It's not the same.
I feel it.
Need the
I feel it.
team.
I'll be able to hop
What up,
on a little
Philip?
bit more now that.
What's goody, Philip? Oh, you can hop on more now?
Yeah, because everything's starting to settle down. So I actually have Verizon Fios coming to my house on Wednesday, so I'm using the in-laws Wi-Fi at the moment.
Feel you. But yeah, I mean, a couple things I put on the docket for today, and of course, we're going to answer any questions that everybody's got out there. Any start sits we've got. I mean, we are a day away. Big week this week,
12, man.
the playoff push, as everybody knows. So, a couple things on the docket. We'll talk about the absolutely horrid Jets. We'll talk about JJ. We'll talk about Kyron, Chase, the Steelers, what they got going on there, and then the battle for the division pretty much this week.
I noticed something a little interesting that on the docket, we don't have anything about the big win by the Packers on Thanksgiving. I don't see that anywhere. How impressive Jordan
No,
Love
you don't see
was.
that because we're not talking about that because that win
That's
doesn't matter.
That's it doesn't matter. What? The Lions were supposed to be.
It matters
this.
that the
Not
the Lions lost. It doesn't matter that the Packers won.
okay. All right. We're not going to take away that Jordan Love had another very efficient, very good game. Basically dominated that game. He dominated that game.
Oh, here
No
we
mistakes,
go.
clean,
Here we go.
throwing deep passes, throwing touchdowns, orchestrating that offense. I was very surprised. I knew when they threw that 50-yard pass to Christian Watson on the first play, I was like, yeah, we got a chance. I wasn't convinced that we were going to win that game. When he threw that first pass to Christian Watson, I think it went for like 53 yards. I was like, yeah, we got a chance now. Like we really got a chance. And that defense, that Packers defense, I want to give them some kudos as well, forcing Jared Goff into a trio of turnovers, just harassing Jared Goff. Let's go.
They played
Packers
good.
are back in the playoff picture, baby. So
I don't know what the deal was with Goff. I mean, he looked just bad. The whole team, it was horrible. I mean,
back to by the line, by the way. They got washed by the Ravens. Back-to-back bad games by the Lions. They got washed by the Ravens and then got thoroughly washed by the Packers. That score does not indicate, I believe it was 29-22. That doesn't indicate how bad the Packers beat their ass on the road on Thanksgiving. Oh my God, that turkey went down so much better.
Did it? I mean, Love had the 3 tutties. I give him that. I mean, AJ Dillon, his normal does nothing self when Jones is out. I mean, he had 14 for 43, and then 3 for 38 through the air, right? 3 targets through the air.
Solid, not great.
On the other hand, I mean, what is that?
Solid, but not what you expect. I expected more from him, but everywhere else was really good. Watson was really good. Jaden Reed,
was really good, and that was a game that they needed from Watson. Watson needed that for himself. I mean, a lot of people off of Watson, that kind of raises the eyebrows back up. That kind of gets everybody ticking. Okay, Christian Watson instantly raises the value. It's crazy how one game can do that when we're
for
talking
sure.
about Dynasty, so nuts. Jada Reed, another tutty, 4 for 34, also had 2 carries for 16 yards, so it seems like they've got him pretty
I love the way
much
he's used I love the way they use him.
in the
Yep.
game plan, right? They use him right. And then Tucker Kraft got in the end zone with no Musgrave, so
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, 332, 29 of 44 for Jared Goff, 2 tutties, no intos. Monty 15 for 71 with a tutty, Jahmyr Gibbs 11 for 54. And you see how Gibbs is in that same range. I mean, he had 8 targets, but 11 carries. They're not overly
Mhm.
using him to where he can get hurt in between the tackles there. So I'm gonna run 9 for 95. I mean, Khalif Raymond 5 for 90. I thought that was a little surprising, but Laporta did his thing, of course, but just not enough. I
The
mean,
turnovers. It was the 3
yeah,
fumbles by Jared Goff that really
3
and
fumbles by
also
Jared.
too
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, 3 fumbles, all 3 lost.
Also, too, another note is Dan Campbell gambling on a bunch of fourth downs that didn't pan out. So I believe they were 1 for 5 on fourth downs, and that kind of gave the Packers some short fields. It gave them momentum when it looked like Detroit was going to make a little bit of a run and kind of get back in the game. So listen, man, the Packers played a hell of a game. We were able, like I said, we were able to harass Jared Goff into 3 fumbles. And like I said, the most important thing for me, as I said 3, 4 weeks ago with Jordan Love, was I'm starting to see some maturation, right? I'm starting to see some growth in his game, cutting down on the late game turnovers. He did that in the previous win. I forgot what that previous win was. I don't know why it's slipping my mind as we speak, but I guess I'm so giddy about beating the Lions. But the last couple of games, he the Chargers, they played really well. So you know, it's really good to see they're back in the playoff mix, right? They're 5-6. I believe they're only a game behind Seattle after Seattle got their ass kicked last night, or Thursday night. So yeah, feeling really good about what's going on there, and hopefully we could keep this moving. We got the Chiefs coming up, so that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. Birdman in the building. What up, Birdman?
Birdman,
Hope
what's
you got your
happening?
grub on too, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Diaz in the building. What up, Diaz? Psalm, what's
Diaz, my
happening,
man.
Psalm? What's happening? Kyle said he asked last night, seeing if a night of sleep makes a difference. Singletary or Downs at flex full PPR. Well, I think it does make a difference in that, I don't know. I might have said Singletary because we didn't know what was happening with Downs with that injury, and then Damian Pierce, like we didn't know. It looks like Damian Pierce is gonna play as of right now, so that makes me lean more towards the downside now. I don't remember what I said yesterday, but that's what I'm leaning right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Josh Downs as well in a really good matchup against Tampa Bay. So, and they'll be at home in the dome. So, I'm going Josh Downs here. I really love this matchup. And I have a little bit of bias because I need Gardner Minshew to play well. So if Josh Downs plays well, that probably means Gardner Minshew plays well. I had to pick him up after Joe Burrow got hurt for me. So yeah, but I really do like Josh Downs. It looks like he's definitely a player in that offense, and he's basically supplanted Alec Pierce as the wide receiver two next to Pittman.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's go with Downs, Kyle. Let's roll with it. Watson waivers, 3 out of 4 redraft leagues. I'm gonna try to pick him up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people gave up. I mean, because it's hard to hold a guy when
Mm-hmm.
he's hurt all the time. You've got IR already building up. You've got buys. You've got injuries. There's not enough room to hold to hold them. So
Yeah.
that's for sure understandable. And it's not like he was doing shit anyway. Birdman vibe. Appreciate you, Birdman.
Yes, sure.
Yes, 12 teams, start 10, PPR 1.75. Okay, 6 and 5, 6 seed facing the 7 seed. Been offered a 25 first and a second for Kamara to a guy who I already have his 24 first. So you already have his 24 first. He being offered a 25 first, and a 24 second. And you'd give up Kamara, but you are in 6th place, and this guy's in 7th place. So, do we take the package deal, or do we hold on to Kamara? What are we doing, Hammer?
I mean, if you're looking to get off Kamara, now is probably the best time because I would imagine once the season wraps up, it's going to be that much harder to get a halfway decent package for Kamara. So if you're getting this, I probably would take it at this point for Kamara. If you're in the 6th seed, so you could go one of two ways, right? You could either fall out of it in the next 2-3 games. So we got this week, week 13 and week 14. So there's 3 games still left. So I would get the package if I can for Kamara right now, and if that includes the first, go get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Kamara gonna be the difference from you winning the ship or not? Like, might just wanna just take the assets, right?
Probably not. Yeah,
Especially if
yeah, I agree.
if
And
you're in
m-
6th.
the bi- the biggest thing for me with Kamara is once this season's over, it's going to be virtually impossible to get anything close to what you're getting now. So I'd kind of make the deal.
Yeah. He says he's 6 and 5, plays a tanker this week, then him the following week, basically trying to buy the win against him. Both have a ton of players on bye. Week 14, I play the one rebuilder team. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I want the first, especially if he's a mid-team right now. I mean, what's he gonna be next year? Even if it's a mid pick or even a late pick, I mean, even still, at least you cashed out with a first and a second. I mean, you know? And if you are just one running back away, maybe you can go buy another running back for now. I don't know what other picks you have if you got a
Yeah, I
third
think
or
I think
something,
with the
or maybe you
assets,
can spend a second too, but you still net the first. So,
I think with I think with the assets you get, you'll be able to buy something probably better. Even if you had to throw in another little piece to get something, that would be fine.
yeah. This week's matchup's gonna be close unless I sell Kamara, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're a Kamara away from the ship. I mean, I'm sure you can probably tell whether you're a Kamara away from a ship, so I would say just take the assets when it's gonna be a first. Birdman, DJ Moore, Kamara, Kirk, Puka, and Kyron and Ford, I'm guessing. Okay, pick 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 up here, so we gotta pick 3 out of these. These are all pretty goodish
Hmm.
options here.
I think DJ Moore is the lock. Kind of like to go that route. Um, but Puka, I think I'm still going Puka as well with Stafford there. So give me DJ Moore. Give me Puka. Man, Kyron Williams is really, really interesting. Yeah, give me DJ Moore, Puka, and Kamara.
DJ Moore, Puka, and Kamara.
Yeah.
Think I'll go DJ Moore for sure too. I will go Kamara for sure also. And it's close between, I guess, all of those guys really. Who's the Rams playing? Where is it at?
The Rams are playing.
The Cardinals. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll go mm, Pup is playing. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Kyron. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but I'm gonna go Kyron. I'm gonna go
Woo!
DJ Moore, Kamara, and Kyron.
That's spicy. I like it.
Pup is back. I just don't know. And I mean, Cardinals run D. I like him better than Ford. I can live with it over Puka. And Kirk is like, eh. Like, I don't know, yeah, give me the guy that's scoring some the tutties once they get down there, you know?
Yeah, and I think they're gonna use him kind of full bore. I think they'll use Kyron. I don't really think there's gonna be a ton of limitations on him. There's not really anybody in that. They just released Daryl Henderson. So they got Royce Freeman and backing up Kyron. I don't feel threatened by Royce Freeman. So I get that. I was slightly leaning Kyron, but I do think Puka has a good chance to get some work done with Cooper Cup coming, nursing an
I
ankle
feel it,
injury. They said he's supposed to play, but he might be
for
a little
sure.
bit limited. So that's
That's
why
true.
I'm leaning Puka.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Birdman said facts, gotta sell him now, yep. Where are you? Kamara is the father.
Hmm.
It's so tough, really froze. This one has me stunned because I wanna compete. I have 324 first, including my own.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
tough one, Diaz, just because, like you said, you're in that mid range, right? It could go really good over the next 3 weeks, or really bad over the next 3 weeks. That's one of those situations where you kind of have to kind of maybe look at your points for, right? Like, is one loss going to drop you, 3 spots? If you look at it from that standpoint, one loss could really hurt you. I'm in a very similar situation in our home dynasty league where I'm in sixth, but one loss, and a couple of wins by some other teams, and I could fall from sixth to 10th in 1 week. So I think that's something you want to take a look at and really decide how you want to approach this. But I like the package for Kamara. I don't think you're going to get that anywhere near that going forward. So
Oh, I think yeah. I think I'll take the package, and then if I really am I think just a running back away, I'll just go buy a cheaper one, you know what I mean? So, I think that's probably the route I'd go. Give me the package, and then I'll go buy another one if I can. Kevin, what up, Kev? Any trades made this
yeah.
week? No, I mean, I had the Chase trade where I received Chase in one league. Other than that, I don't think I've had any trades in the past week or so. Now with, like, the playoffs and everything kinda, like, showing where it's at, like, a lot of the trades are already done, you know what I mean? Contenders already went and
Hmm.
got their guys, and rebuilders already have sold all their guys. So, we're kinda at, like, a point where in
Everybody
certain
knows kind
leagues,
of where they're at. Yep.
there's not much to kinda trade in this right now, you know?
I did make a
For me, at
trade
least.
in my home redraft league, two quarterbacks. I had Jordan Love. I ended up trading Trevor Lawrence for Jalen Waddle, which I was really happy about. So that
Oh, I
was
see.
one of the latest trades I made.
Yeah, I saw that, you fucker.
So
Is
now
that the 2 Q
and
that was a
Jordan.
2 QB league?
Yeah, yeah. So that was just perfect. Once all my quarterbacks had buys, I just traded Trevor Lawrence for Jalen Waddle. Now I'm rolling out
Yeah, and I lost.
Mahomes, Jordan Love, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle. I got Hawkinson on that team, Pacheco. I got ETN on that team. That team is solid.
Yeah, Burrow basically lost it for me because
That's tough.
if Burrow didn't get hurt, then I would be fine, but now I gotta deal with Mac Jones, so rough. Kev said, Hammond Love looked like a guy last game. Yeah, we
I
briefly
tried
spoke
to
about
text
that earlier.
I tried to text Blanc. Well, no, I didn't try. I texted him on Thursday to tell him Jordan Love is getting better. Just admit it. And he's not going to admit it. He's not going to come off that hill because he knows that if Jordan Love becomes a player, the Vikings become irrelevant, which they normally are. That's what he's scared of. That's what he's scared of. He's scared of Jordan Love becoming a guy.
Mm. Birdman said that was his thoughts, but you guys got the better feel. Feel you, Birdman. Tennessee or Denver D?
Ooh. All right. Tennessee's playing home against Carolina. Okay, so I understand where you're going with that. And then the Broncos are playing home against Cleveland. So that's a spicy question. Jesus. Carolina looks god awful.
I think you're probably pretty safe with either
Cleveland
or.
does
Like, I don't see either of these teams putting up,
I would
like,
agree.
30 plus, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think
Yeah.
they'll be relatively low scoring. I mean, unless Derrick Henry's fucking running all over, but
Yeah,
even still.
I think there wouldn't be a huge difference here. I If I had to pick one, I picked the Denver defense. They're playing much better against the Cleveland Browns offense that is not very good. We saw the matchup, against I forgot who they played the week before. It's just been so many games happening, but they had a good oh, they played Pittsburgh. So, and they only scored 13 points against Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh does have a decent defense. Yeah, I'll roll with the Broncos here. They're playing very well. They seem to be making a playoff push. They're a hot team right now. Give me Denver here.
Yeah, I might actually agree with you on that. I might actually go with Denver as well.
Which is wild because a month ago we would have been like play against Denver's defense.
Yeah. Mm. Actisson, what's up, man? Half PPR, Joku or Ingram, Singletary or James Cook. He also has Diggs and Allen. Okay.
Okay,
So Joku or Ingram, I guess we'll start there.
I'm gonna go Evan Ingram here just because that Browns offense is extremely limited. If they're only scoring 13, 14 points, there's not going to be a ton of action for Njoku.
I do just want to
Was he?
throw in there for Joku. 15 targets last game,
I
9 the game
understand.
before that, 6, 8, 9. He has been getting targeted pretty nice lately.
He has. The target share is fantastic, and listen, he's been good. If you're in a tight end premium, he's been pretty solid, but the efficiency is not great. 2 out of the last 3 games, he's under 4.5 yards a target, roughly 8-ish yards a catch. So the target share is there, but the efficiency is not going to be there. So make of that what you want. Let me see what Evan Ingram's been up to.
Ain't
Yeah,
shit.
he's tapered off. No, he's tapered off a little bit. He's basically really good for the first 8 weeks, like really really good. He's tapered off a little bit, but his target share is very consistent. And he doesn't have a touchdown, man. Jesus.
Nope.
Yeah, it might be Njoku here. It might be Njoku here.
I I think I like Njoku just because the quarterback situation.
Yeah,
They
I think
threw just a shit ton of, short passes, which is fine. I don't care. I'll take 7
short.
catches
Yeah,
from my tight end, even if it's for, 56 yards. I mean,
yeah,
that's
I hear it.
okay. Better than nothing,
I hear it. Yep.
especially full PPR. So it is close though. But yeah, let's go Joku there, and then Singletary or James Cook.
Well, Singletary obviously had a monster game. 2 monster games back to back, over 100 yards and a touchdown in the last 2
First time he's
games.
ever done it,
Um, which is wild.
right?
And because he's the hot hand, does the Damian Pierce thing even matter if he's playing this well? So Damian Pierce questionable. Yeah, I think it's Singletary, dude. I don't think the Damian Pierce thing affects Singletary because he's proven that he can handle a full workload. I think he's 23 carries at least in the last 2 games. I think
Do they
the 2
split
weeks
it?
ago he had 30 carries.
Do they split it though?
It's
If
possible. I don't
Pierce is back, it looks like he is gonna play. So is it gonna be like Singletary still take the workload, or are they gonna be split it back up?
It's certainly possible. And listen, James Cook is getting you some really solid PPR value. He had the receiving touchdown last week, over 100 yards the week before. That's definitely a tough one. I'll still roll with Singletary. Let me check the matchups. Texans taking on the Jaguars, and the
Pretty
Bills
good
taking
against
on
the
the
run.
Eagles. And the Bills taking on the Eagles. So
Mhm. I think I wanna roll with Cook. Just more PPR upside and the likelihood that Pierce plays, and the Jacksonville defense is pretty good. And I went against Singletary last week, so it's kinda hard for me to go against Singletary, right now. But I think if Pierce doesn't play, I might just roll with Singletary. But if Pierce plays, then I'm rolling with Cook.
Yeah, but the fucked up part about that is that the Bills play at 4:25 and Houston plays at 1. So you got to make that decision at 12 o'clock, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll take Singletary here. I'm okay with that. I think that offense is pretty good. Now, the Jaguars being good against the run, that's fine. But the volume, there's volume there. And even if he goes down to 18 carries, right? From 23 and 30. If he goes down to 18 carries, I feel okay with that. Dameon Pierce has not been very efficient when he plays, and Singletary's been extremely efficient the last 2 weeks. So I think he'll definitely have every opportunity to get the lion's share of the work.
Yeah, said he took
But
the
I could
deal.
hear the James Cook stuff, especially with the PPR.
Yeah, said I
Did
took the
he?
deal. Now I
Nice.
sell off, he says. If you wanna give it all up, I mean,
I wouldn't say
you could use that. You could use the second at least or something else to go and buy something if you think you're just that running back away, you know? Be growing stuff. What's good, my man? Half PPR, Nico Collins or Zay Flowers.
yeah, I'm going Nico Collins here, man. Just has the way higher upside. Now, Baltimore is playing the Chargers, who have a notoriously terrible defense on Sunday night. So make of that what you will. But I just love the way the Texans are playing. CJ Stroud is trying to get that team into the playoffs. Nico Collins is a big part of that. I'll take Nico Collins.
Mm. You know, Flowers is a little bit banged up. I mean, he said he's gonna play, so it does look
Can't
like
hear
he's
you.
gonna play.
Okay.
You hear me? I know Flowers is a little bit banged up. I mean,
Yeah,
they did say it looks like he is gonna play, so I'm not necessarily crazy worried about it. It's a great matchup against the Chargers. I mean, Nico last week had 11 targets. I mean, 7 for 65. Obviously, Dell was the guy that had the big day, but I think I'm gonna go Nico Collins here as well. I mean, I think we gotta go Nico, especially lately. Diaz said he traded Andrews and
yeah, I
2/3 for
agree.
Pitts. Traded Andrews and 2/3 for Pitts. It was win now. I had just pushed for CMC and Cooper the week before Deshaun Watson went out for the season. Oh man, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. And you had to
Fucking
pay
hilarious.
Andrews
I
and
love that.
2/3. I mean, that's not crazy bad for Pitts. That's I guess just the tax of Andrews being down. So Jay, what up, Jay? Appreciate you, Jay. What's
Jay.
going on, man?
Yes, sir.
Song said start 3. I didn't miss any questions, right? Make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, I think we're good. All right. Song said pick 3. Start Puka, Cup, Ridley, Devonta Smith. 1, 2.
So
So
we're
we got to sit one
sitting
of these
one.
guys.
Yeah. Oof. God damn. See, the Cooper Cup thing is very interesting, right? Because we just had a question about Puka, and if Cooper Cup is limited in any way, that's gonna. I don't think I'm playing both
Got
Puka and
he's
Cooper
got
Cup.
no injury destination at all.
No,
Full participant in practice. Cup.
that's boy. Yeah. And then Puka's sitting for me. Could make the
Yeah, I
argument for
might.
Ridley.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to say Puka's sitting as well, and it's hard to say that. I mean, let me pull up Puka real quick. And I don't know,
Ridley had the monster game, but
you guys let me know, but do we ever think that Puka will ever put up another stretch like he did the first 4 games of the season?
no, because Cooper Cup is there. That's why he did that. Now
I
Puka's still going to be really good, but he's going to be inconsistent.
mean, even with Cup not there, I mean, if Stafford isn't there, I
Yeah,
just
that too.
I think that Puka had, I mean, he's started to more come to earth lately, right? I mean, with Cup around. He's had only one game over 100 yards since Cupps came back. But yeah, I think I'm gonna set Puka here.
Yeah, it's
Ridley's
really
kinda
tough
on a
to
roll.
rely. Yeah, yeah, that's tough for me as well. I think I'm setting Puka in this particular scenario. Now, the Ridley stuff is interesting as well. He had one big game, so we're staying with Ridley.
I think so. I mean, I think I have to.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I have, but it's fair if you know, didn't want to. I mean,
This is a very tough question, honestly, because any one of these guys have the capability of going for 8 catches for
draws this
100
one.
yards and a touchdown at least. So
Mhm.
all these guys are very capable. So this is a tough one. We're kind of splitting hairs there. But yeah, I think I would sit Puka in this scenario, especially if Cup doesn't have an injury designation, which I thought he
Yeah.
did. Haven't really checked in. I've been kind of busy this
No,
weekend.
I just checked it because I don't have any cups, so I just checked them real quick. But, Tingley, what up, Tingley? Asked this question to Stevie last night, but wanted to see what hammer throw
Hmm.
it to. Full PPR, start Puka or Devonta Smith, and then flex
Hmm.
Pacheco or Puka or Devonta Smith.
Well, I appreciate that, Tingley, because I know Steve is the star of the show, but I appreciate that you care about my opinion enough to ask it again when I'm back. So, Tingley, I will say I'm starting Devonta Smith over Puka, and then I would flex. I think I would flex Pacheco. I think I'll flex Pacheco. Let me take a look at who the Chiefs play really quick.
And what I tell
Chiefs are
you last
playing the
night,
Raiders. Yep,
Tingley.
I'm flexing Pacheco.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I gave the same exact answer. I think, especially with McKinnon's not playing this week, so that gives, like, a little bit added boost to Pacheco, but I'm pretty sure I said Tingley, let me know. Am I bugging, or did I say the same thing? Are we on the same page? Are we
Probably.
best friends? Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Mm. Philip, Ford, or Ramondre?
Ooh.
Andre had
Patriots
20
got
for
the
88.
Giants. Yeah.
Did look better.
Huh. That always scares me. I feel like Jerome Ford's giving me a fairly safe floor. Like the production's been very up and down, yardage wise, yards per carry wise. He found the end zone last week, first time since week 7. He's getting some targets in the passing game as well. That offense is not great, so the efficiency is not going to be there. I think I might go with Ramondre here.
Yeah, I might go Ramondre too. I mean, they are playing the Giants. I think that, the quarterback situation is pretty fucked. So, I think I'm gonna roll with Ramondre too by a little
And
bit.
Ramondre's giving you Ramondre's giving you really good receiving work as well. Like he's 6 targets, 4 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets. So Ramondre is giving you some solid PPR upside as well.
Mhm. Yeah, it's McBride or Joku,
Ooh,
1.75 premium.
I think I might go McBride here. When
I know
Kyler kind
that
of getting his feet wet.
yeah, I mean, Hollywood is questionable right now. I don't know if I heard anything that he's definitely playing or not. It just says questionable.
McBride's been hot, dude. Like the targets are there. No question about it. And with Zach Ertz on the shelf, McBride is he's filling up the target share column. He's been
I
able
mean, I
he
know, but
eclipsed.
can you say the
Go ahead.
same for Joku though as
Yeah,
well,
you
especially
can.
with the
But
rookie
do
QB?
but do you think the Cardinals are going to have more scoring opportunities or more sustained drives to be able to deliver a little bit more? I'm gonna
I
take
mean, I
McBride
guess
here.
because Kyler Murray, but I don't know how close they're gonna get down there to be able to use him at, like, the goal line. I mean, I
That's fair, but
think I'm gonna go with
let's
Joku. I don't think I think it's just hard to
split the
ignore
difference.
15 targets basically,
Yeah, yeah.
with, a new QB that they put in there. I think that just shows that he kinda is a favorite
Looks
option. He
for him
feels comfortable
underneath.
with
Yeah.
him. They're throwing these I don't care how short the passes are, it is what it is, but I'll just take, I'll take the point. So, I think I'm gonna go Joku slightly, but, I mean, we could see another, 10 plus target game from McBride as well, especially if Marquise Brown is out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Tingley said you also had Devonta and Pacheco, yeah.
I like it.
Birdman says he's got Downs also. Kirk, Puka, or Downs.
Oof, that's rough. With Kyron being back, you gotta imagine they're gonna give him, a steady diet there. And Cooper Cup not having an injury designation means that he should be a full go. But Downs is a big play guy, man. He's really that's a tough one between Puka and Downs. If I had to lean one way, I'd go Downs, but I can understand the Puka. He's really good. He's a good receiver. There's no doubt about it. But I think Downs has a little bit of a higher ceiling at this point, with the situations the way they are than Puka. So yeah. So give me Downs by the slightest of margins.
I might roll with that. I might roll with that as well. Like literally very, very slightly over Puka. Just think, like you said, like the upside is there. The big playability is there for Downs. DS, these dudes at the bottom are not selling, completely inactive like Brado. The 101 rebuilder has old as fuck players that should be sold to contenders, but left on red. Yeah, it sucks being in leagues like that where people just aren't active, aren't active enough. But I mean, unfortunately, there's nothing you could do. So try and figure out when the times they are active and see what's good, I guess. Rough. Simp said, Hammer, you get a chance to weigh in on this, Hammer. He'll give
I
you a
like
chance
it.
to weigh in. Full
I
PPR, need to
appreciate it.
flex
Yo,
too.
Tingly and Simp, they appreciate me, unlike some people.
Yeah, or they just don't trust me, and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta see what
Ah,
Hammer says."
that's
Nah,
another way. That's a fantastic way to look at
uh,
it. I didn't even think about
nah,
that.
I appreciate you. Nah, we can't get them all right. Hammer's right sometimes, and Hammer's wrong, and Stevie B's
No
right, and
doubt.
Stevie B's wrong. It is what it is. But full PPR, we need to flex 2 Hammer in this one. It's Bijan, Ridley, Kincaid, London, Connor, or Cook.
Bijan is the lock here for me. I think Arthur Smith got the wake up call and said Bijan needs 20 plus carries for us to win games and me to keep my damn job. So Bijan is the absolute lock here.
Oh.
It's hard because Ridley comes off the big game, but he's been inconsistent virtually since week 1. Ridley, like I said, we know Ridley is a primetime receiver. He's amazing, but hasn't been great. Kincaid has been fantastic at the tight end spot, but that's always a risk putting a tight end at the flex, as we talked about. Drake London with Desmond Ritter back, that makes me a little nervous. Connor, he's going to get some good work, possibly a touchdown. Connor does have a nose for the end zone. Or James Cook, the PPR running back, the PPR upside running back. Man, this is fucking spicy. Simp, you really put me on the spot here. I got a lock for you, which is Bijan. After that, it's really tough. Give me
What was my
Calvin
answer,
Ridley
Simp?
here. Give me Bijan and Ridley here. I think that's the
Think
way you have to go.
I think I said the same thing, but, Simp, let me know. Make sure I'm
Yeah,
not capping over here.
Kincaid's really interesting because he's just been really good since Dawson Knox went down. He kind of took over that tight end 1 spot, but he essentially is a wide receiver. Like, let's call it what it is. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
for
kind of
sure.
look at it that from that standpoint. But yeah, I still think I'll take. I still think I'll take Calvin Ridley in a game that should be fairly high scoring. You'd think it'd be like a 28, like 31-28 kind of game, we hope. With CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence out there. So Trevor hasn't been that great, but yeah, give me Bijan and Ridley. Ridley still has that wide receiver one upside. Hasn't been there most weeks. But yeah, Bijan and Ridley with Kincaid, super, super close.
Yeah, I think I went with the same thing, but Birdman with Williams back, I'm starting to say sit him as well. Puka, I think you're talking about Puka in that one. Song says, "As for Dynasty 22, I have Ayuk to buy. He's an auto stack with Purdy. If as for damn, did I miss? Where were you at, Song? I have Ayuk to buy. He is an auto stack with Purdy. Song, let me know what the question is. I don't know. I don't think I missed
I
something you
apologize.
said before that,
I
but
don't know if
can you figure it out? Is there another? Damn, you're in the Matrix, Hammer.
I don't know. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not great right now. Verizon has to come here on Wednesday, so the service is not great. So like I said, I want to apologize in advance for that.
Be growing
Yeah,
stuff.
so get back
Miami
to us
D,
and kind of
Baltimore D, rest of the season. Clinch the first round bye. Just don't like having two defenses. Yeah, Baltimore or Miami.
Baltimore. I feel
I
much
think
better
they've
about
been
that Baltimore
awesome. I
defense.
think they're like a top 5 defense. I think, right?
I believe so. Hold on. Got to go into my redraft. There's Baltimore.
I think I've got them on one of
Ravens
my
defense is
dynasties.
currently ranked number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Baltimore
People are
defense,
just
number
playing.
2. Roll with the Baltimore defense and call it a day.
They've got. Well, they do have a bye in week 13, so Chargers, bye, Rams, Jacksonville, San Fran, Miami. I mean, they are playing some decent teams, but what's Miami's looking like? Washington, Tennessee, Jets, and then you get to Dallas in week 16 at Baltimore, but Washington, Tennessee, Jets, I mean,
Miami's currently 8th ranked defense with better
not bad.
matchups. So
So
there
you
is
want
an
to go with the
argument there. So
matchups?
and Miami's defense is already the bye week is already finished. So yeah, you might be better off going with Miami. So this way you could just roll with them for the rest of the year in plus matchups, pretty much all the way through until you
Thinking
get
that too. 16
to week
basically.
16. Yeah, yeah. And then
I'll roll
figure it
against
out from there.
Washington, Tennessee, and the Jets. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go Miami.
Yep.
And then address it in week 16. I mean, obviously, you might not want to play them in week 16 against Miami, but you can address it at
Dallas.
that point, or see who else maybe you can stash for that particular week if you get there. Yeah, we did that. Birdman, y'all the goats. Nah, you're the goat, Birdman. Y'all are the goats. We're
Yes.
just here. Y'all the real goats.
I concur with every word you just said.
Kevin, flex play Singletary, James Cook, or Pickens in a start 11 super flex. Singletary, James Cook, Pickens.
I think I'm going Singletary here. We had this one as well. Pickens, I don't trust Pickens even on a good day. Yeah, I'm going Singletary here, Kev.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna still go with James Cook. Unless Pierce doesn't play, then it might be Singletary. But otherwise, I'm going with Cook. Isaac in the building. What up, Isaac?
My man,
Appreciate you. He said he started Sharps. Oh man, now we gotta decide JT Swift or Pacheco. Shit. Probably would have went with JT and Pacheco, to be honest. Yeah, you gotta pick 2 out of those 3. Yeah, JT I go JT and Pacheco. What you thinking, Hammer?
Yeah, I'm leaning that way as well. Now, Swift obviously is still on a really good team. I know they have an interesting matchup this week against Buffalo. Yeah, I'm going Taylor. Colts playing at home against Tampa. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor and Pacheco.
Do it. Simp said, "No, you, Stevie. It's not you, Stevie. It's me." No, I was just fucking around, Simp. I know how everybody is. Everybody listens to a few different people. You get to hear different insights, and then you make your own decision, right? I don't expect everybody to
Mhm.
100% do exactly what I say, but it's more of
Because
just
I'm not
the
always right.
insight, and
Yep.
then you decide kind of what you think best fits, what you're thinking, and then you make the decision from there. So. He
Mhm.
said he moved Kincaid and Ridley in and out the lineup multiple times this week. Yeah, Ridley's currently in there, like I said, kicking myself for benching Waddle. Yeah, but I mean, listen,
Yeah.
Waddle he didn't have a great matchup. I mean, I benched him in one league as well, just because I have a bunch of wide receivers in that league, so I'm a little bit deep. I was able to be able to bench him, but I also played him in a league too, so it was tough. It's one of those like, okay, he could just get blanketed up because it's a good Jets defense, or the defense is keying in on Cheetah and Waddle's kind of going off. But
And they
obviously that
both had
didn't
really
matter
good
because
games. They both had
because Cheetah
fantastic
still did.
games.
They're gonna get him
Uh,
the 2,000 yards. I think
yeah. Oh
that's
yeah.
that's the goal for them. I think that's an actual goal for them. Like they're gonna try and give it to him, get it from him.
Yeah, that's happening for sure.
So that's gonna be crazy. Think Pacheco has a smash matchup. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Isaac and
That's
McKinnon is
exactly what I
out
was
as
thinking.
well. So Lutz or Koo for kickers.
Ooh. Lutz is, I mean, I would pick Koo. I think they both play. What team is Lutz on now? I know he was on the Saints.
Lutz is
I think
on
it is
Denver, and they've got
Denver.
Cleveland. Yeah, and then Koo's got New Orleans in the dome.
Yeah, give me Koo here.
Yeah, I might go Koo too. I mean, Lutz has been on fire like the last couple games, but give me Koo in the dome on an Atlanta team that's not. I mean, you could say the same for Denver. They're not great, on the other side of the field or in the red zone. So yeah, give me Koo. Give me Koo in the dome. Swift is not the only option there, Isaac said.
I think
Wait,
he
did I
meant on
miss
that
something?
Eagles team. On that
Oh,
Eagles
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah, for sure,
I
for
think he
sure.
meant.
Yeah, Pacheco is him. Yeah, I mean, Pacheco is a good player.
He's good for what they want, right? Like they play
Good
good
for yeah,
defense, and now they have a guy that can run the ball between the tackles, get those tough
he's
yards, convert first
he's
downs.
he's perfect for, for fantasy wise, like a guy that is not crazy expensive, but still is gonna give you like back endish RB1, high RB2 upside. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's why particularly, I like him, and he doesn't cost you that much, right? He's not costing you a first, so he's a guy that you can actually go and buy, and you might even feel pretty comfortable about him next year too in just kinda the
The
role that he
same role.
has. So, I
Yeah.
don't know if he's necessarily going away. I mean, he's cheap, and typically the draft capital, matters with these guys, but I think he had opportunity, and he kinda proved himself, and they trust him, so
Yep.
y'all think Herbert can hit projections against the Ravens?
Herbert's very strange. Feel like he should. That's a tough one. It's at in LA. I don't know what his exact projection is. If I look at it on Sleeper, it's probably somewhere in the 20s.
On a
Let's see.
17.8 for one of my leagues, but I think this is 4-point passing touchdown. So 17.8,
Six
particularly in
point
this league.
in 6 point passing touchdowns. He's 20 and a half.
Yeah. So, I mean, last two games was played really good, right? Good last two
Mm-hmm.
games. But when you look at the good defenses like the Jets and the Chiefs, he did not play well against either of those two good defenses. Now,
No, he
they
did not.
weren't at home against those two teams, so they were at those teams. So I don't know if that necessarily makes a difference, but
At the end
I
of
mean,
the
they
day,
can't run the
Simp, I think
ball,
no.
right? I mean, they don't
No,
run the
no,
ball
they
well.
can't run. No. At the end of the day, Simp, I think you're playing Justin Herbert regardless of what you're not regardless of what you're I'm pretty sure you don't have better options. So I think you're playing
Mm,
Justin Herbert if we're gonna kind of bottom line it. But listen, Justin Herbert's QB5, right? And 6-point passing touchdown. So you're playing him.
yeah, for sure. Gross kicker question: Koo at home or Prater at home versus the Rams?
Prater's pretty good. I actually picked him up in one of my leagues. I think I still like Koo here. I know New Orleans has a pretty solid defense.
Mm, yeah, I think I still like Koo too. I think the defense could kind of play to an advantage where, they're stopping tutties, so
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah. I'll go Koo here.
right? Isaac said Swift has to score from 10 plus out. Simp said no options. Our leagues like to hold 2 or 3 QBs. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's tough.
that's
Yeah,
rough.
Sim, roll with Justin Herbert. He's a guy.
Damn, Hammer, you better fix that Wi-Fi bullshit you got going on over there, bro.
Bro, I said Wednesday. It'll be back. I'll be back in business on
Oh, let's talk
Wednesday.
about the
Settle
Jets
down.
because I've heard from numerous Jets fans that have said, "Fuck it, bring Zach back." Like this is so bad. Just wasn't happening for Boyle, not happening for the Jets. I mean, they're absolutely horrible. Saleh literally put his own job on the line with Zach Wilson. I mean,
Yep.
well, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, he continuously shows that he's just not the guy, not the guy, not the guy. Like he's not miraculously gonna be great. I mean,
The
I don't know,
problem
dude.
is the problem is for the Jets is that their plan was flawed from the beginning, right? They had Zach Wilson as the backup. What did you expect if a 39-year-old quarterback got hurt? Like, so the plan was flawed from the beginning, right? There's no other way to put it, which is hilarious to me. So so before the season even started, it was flawed. And we're seeing the fruits of that we're seeing that come to fruition, right? You're telling me that you couldn't have went out there and got a Josh Dobbs to back him up. You couldn't have got I don't know, a Jameis Winston. You couldn't have got you couldn't have got somebody capable. Colt McCoy,
Heineke, a Brissett, a Carson Wentz, fucking
Heineke,
anybody.
Carson Wentz. Yes, Carson Wentz was on his couch, dude. Come on.
Fucking call up Phillip Rivers for Christ's sakes.
Boom,
Shit.
boom, done. Matt Ryan, Jesus Christ.
RG3, fuck it.
Right. RG3 said he's ready to suit up. Like he said he's
Oh wait,
ready.
bro, RG3 talks so much shit
He
for somebody
does.
that
He
doesn't play
does.
anymore.
He does.
It's
You know
hilarious.
what it is? Because he's so much younger than a lot of the retired players that he feels
Yeah.
like he still feels that he can play, and he probably could play better than what the Jets are giving at quarterback. So
Like,
or getting at
the problem
quarterback.
nowadays is, when you got guys like Cam Newton or myself and we
Yeah.
go to a team and
Yep. Yep.
yeah, like, bro, come on. If you only would have fucking been smarter back then and fucking slid.
No, the Jets
Kinda
and
sucks
listen,
we didn't get to see RG3.
the full yeah. He did hang on for a couple of years in Baltimore, kind of backing up Lamar or Flacco, I think. One of the
Flacco,
I don't
yeah, what
remember
the
the
fuck? They could have went to Flacco.
I don't know. I
That's a
I
good
don't
point.
I
That's a good point.
I'd rather have Wentz. I'd rather have Wentz than Flacco, honestly.
Listen, Flacco was throwing the ball. Like Flacco was leading the league in passing when he
All
played those
right,
few
for like
games.
2 weeks. Let's not be ridiculous. But yeah, no, the Jets
Oh,
situation, the mess, and I think we have a comment. I
3
think it's
weeks, 3 weeks, 3
Jay.
weeks, alright?
I think Jay has a comment in there that's spot on. The O line is terrible. Their plan was flawed from the beginning. Their O line was terrible. Now, they're saying I hear a lot of I listen to a lot of ESPN New York, and they talk about, well, Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly and blah blah blah. No, Aaron Rodgers got hurt because he holds on to the ball, knowing that offensive line is trash. So let's call it what it is. Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to say he got himself hurt, but he holds on to the ball because he doesn't want to throw interceptions. So that's all I'm going to say.
The O-line does suck, but, I'm just saying, it didn't stop Joe Flacco.
No, I mean, listen, I know they have a bunch of injuries and a bunch of guys that haven't really been performing. So yeah, they're an absolute mess. I think if they don't win another game, Robert Saleh is going to get canned. I do.
I mean, listen, there's ways to fix. I mean, all right, the offensive line isn't great. So, all right, do we hold an extra tight end, right? Do we change up like our formations? Do we start running, shorter plays? Do we throw screens to keep the D line off balance? Like, there's got to be like it's just everything is just it's just so bad. Like, it's so
Yeah,
bad.
it's brutal.
And
Listen,
then
if Tommy,
and then you got Salah talking shit basically about Brees Hall. I don't know if you heard that, basically talking about it. He
not
always goes for the home run and he's gotta learn how to grind it out or some bullshit like that.
no, he has to go for the
Um,
home run because that'll be the only offensive points that team scores.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
What's he supposed to do?
I don't know, man.
No, but I totally forgot what I was about to say. I don't know. Maybe I'll remember. I was actually going to
Okay.
bring something up, but
RG3 should have slit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
I
what I'm
got his
saying, Birdman.
knee ripped
Heard
up.
A-Rod doesn't want a good backup because he's an attention whore. I mean, I don't think any backup is a threat to him really, so I don't know how much it matters,
No,
but
and he's campaigning for Zach Wilson, blah blah blah. So I
I
listen.
know.
Zach Wilson should have been the third quarterback. And listen, if Zach Wilson was the third quarterback, he probably would have been playing some games for the Jets anyway, depending on the backup. Obviously, if they had Carson Wentz in there or something, then obviously Carson Wentz, a Matt Ryan, something like that. But
It it all
it's bad.
started with fucking Bill Belichick in the draft. I don't know if you remember, there was a lineman that they were gonna take. The Patriots
And the
had the
and
pick
the
before
Patriots
them,
moved up.
and they
Yep,
they flipped him to, I think it was Pittsburgh, I think, that wound up moving up, or somebody, and wound up taking that lineman that they were gonna
I
wind up
remember that.
taking.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, need new leadership. Jay said, Salah's a scapegoat. His loyalty ended up cancerous to this revamped Jets. Yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy, man. He won't get canned. He will get plastic bagged. Yeah.
Throw it right over his
Who's
head.
worse,
Gone.
Wilson or Leaf?
That's really tough for me to say, Isaac, just because I didn't really get to see a ton of Ryan Leaf. I think Ryan Leaf was drafted the same year as Peyton Manning. And so that was like 98. So I don't really have a ton of vivid memories of Ryan Leaf. But I've seen some of the highlights. I've seen some of the statistics on Ryan Leaf. It, to me, right now it's Wilson, but when it's all said and done, we could probably do a little comparison and see who was worse. So
Yeah.
it's tough for me to judge that because I really didn't get to see a ton of Ryan Leaf like I'm seeing a ton of Zach Wilson right now. The
Yeah.
better comparison is Zach Wilson or Jamarcus Russell. That's a more apt comparison because especially for me and you who we saw what Jamarcus Russell did, and we're seeing what Ryan Leaf did, which is Zach Wilson, which is a bunch of nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I, to be fair, I mean, I don't know if Zach Wilson should have necessarily been picked that high. I
That's
think like
true. That's
nobody
true as
really
well.
thought that that was happening. So that is just one kinda thing to look at, but Jay said Green Bay's laughing because the Rodgers experiment of letting him stick it to them failed miserably, and Pack saved 50 plus mil. Yeah.
Well, I think the Packers, like, listen, if this started so much longer ago than just what happens is happening this season. This started the second they drafted Jordan Love, right? They moved up to pick Jordan Love when they probably at the time, remember, at the time, the Packers were going to the NFC Championship game virtually regularly. So at that time, Aaron Rodgers was like, bruh, you can't get me a wide receiver. You can't get me a DK Metcalf. You can't get me, something along those lines. And how many receivers have we seen come into the league and be really good? And you go, damn, imagine he was on the Packers with Devontae Adams.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Aaron was right to feel that way. I felt that way at the time. Now, the things change, teams move in a different direction, but the Packers are definitely having the last laugh for sure.
Yep. Dylan, what's up, Dylan? A few starts, sits, all full PPR. All right, I need upside. Pick one flex. Hollywood, Downs, Hunt, James Cook. Let's start there.
Yeah, I think we're both going Josh Downs here.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Josh Downs here. Hollywood a little bit banged up. Pick one wide receiver, DJ Moore or Ridley.
I'm gonna lose Mountain Dew anyway. Give me DJ Moore.
Yeah, that one I think was a real close one. I might have went. I think I don't know if he asked this yesterday, but I might go DJ Moore as well. It's hard. Like they're connecting pretty well, Fields and DJ Moore right
Mm-hmm.
now. So, mm, do we go Ridley? No, I'll still go DJ Moore. Fuck it.
Yeah, Ridley.
Pick a
Ridley.
running back.
Go
Running
ahead.
back: Ford, Singletary, or Connor.
Yeah, I'm going Singletary here.
Mm.
Could make the argument for Connor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only going Singletary if Pierce doesn't play. If Pierce plays, I'm gonna roll it Ford. I think it was close. Jay said, "I'd love to see what Wilson with a great coach like
There
the
was another.
Rams."
There was another one on that
Oh,
question.
my bad, my bad, my bad. I didn't see that one. Number 4. Okay, Odell, Amari Cooper, Ty Chandler, Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell. You wanted upside.
Mm.
Odell's interesting.
Odell is interesting. See, he is questionable, dealing with a shoulder injury. He said it's a game time decision. So, I
I
mean,
feel like every time Odell makes a catch, he's questionable. Like every time he catches the
yeah,
ball, he gets questionable.
let's not do that. I think it's gotta. I think you're right. I think it's gotta be Mitchell if you want upside. I like Chandler too, but yeah, Mitchell's got to be the play for the upside. Let's go with Mitchell. Let's go with Mitchell. Jay said he'd love to see Wilson with a great coach like the Rams. He got Baker back on track. Jets killed careers.
Yeah, the Jets do not handle their quarterback situation well at all. That is an absolute fact.
Isaac, I love that A-Rod said to G Willie, "Sorry, kid." Yeah, that was kind of sad. I
I
was
did see
excited for
that.
that whole I think everybody was really
Yeah, that
excited
combo.
for Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, and like we didn't get to see it. So,
You're gonna get
hopefully Aaron
another shot
Rodgers,
next year.
he'll get another shot next year. So hopefully he's there, next year and doesn't pop another one or something. But hopefully,
Did you
hopefully we get to
really
see it.
quick talking about popping another one? Did you see the Miami Dolphins
The
edge guy
Phillips,
popped his Achilles? Ooh, it
yeah,
looked
and they
exactly
slow
like what
mode it.
happened
You
to
could see
Aaron.
that
Yep,
thing just
back.
snap.
Yep.
See it snap. That was crazy
Mm,
for real. Zach Wilson reminds me of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is way better. At
I
least
would
I think.
agree. I would agree
Sam Darnold, I
because I
think,
saw
kinda
Sam
got the
Darnold go.
shit end of the he kinda got the shit end of the stick there
Yep,
for the Jets. Like, I don't think he
I
ever really
agree.
had a fair shake because he wasn't, like, that horrible in Carolina, but he didn't have a ton of opportunity. Like, he played really well early with
Hmm.
DJ Moore, I remember. Then he got
And
injured,
CMC.
and then
Yep.
when he came back, he was just not good. So, he's been a little bit just, had some bad luck, I think, for sure.
Hmm.
I think he'd run that San Fran offense just fine,
I
honestly.
totally agree.
Frank, what's cracking? Frank, what's goody? Good call on Hall over B-Rob. Hall 8 points, B-Rob 7. Yeah, I think I said if Gibby played, I'm going Brees, or something like that. But I mean, he
But
wasn't.
B
They were both
Rob,
not good.
to be fair, B Rob's still pretty good, and I think he's
Sure.
been getting some really interesting receiving upside. Like they're throwing him those swing routes, like up the sideline. He had one. He definitely had a big one on Thursday that I could remember. But Dallas just bum rushed Washington, and then once they opened the floodgates, that was all she wrote.
Well, I think that was basically like my exact assessment of it is like, all right, this game could get out of hand relatively quickly. That the game script does not favor Brian Robinson if Gibby plays. Like if he doesn't play, then I'd be okay with it. But with
Yeah,
Gibby winding up playing, I think it was a good call to not go with B Rob there. And I mean, at one point, I mean, obviously that doesn't matter unless your matchup somehow comes down to 1 point. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy, but
it's been known to happen.
yeah. Justin Jefferson. Any chance that
Hmm.
JJ plays Monday night?
I think
I
he
don't
has a
think so.
questionable tag.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Now he's listed as questionable. Not played since week
Just fucking
5.
around. They got the
Da-da-da.
bye. They got the bye next week. I mean, there's no reason to, I don't think, rush him back. I still think we're in a good enough position where fuck it, just give him another week before we bring him back.
Now Hawkinson is listed as questionable as well. So that all of a sudden doesn't turn into a guarantee. And if the Vikings lose, they're in a virtual 3-way tie with Seattle for that 7th spot, I believe, and Green Bay just a game behind at that point, or a half game, because the Vikings would be 6-6 and the Packers are 5-6. So things could get really interesting if Hawkinson doesn't play. Say the Vikings
Nah,
lose.
he'll be playing. Yeah, I think he'll be playing. I'm not worried about him not playing. I know he's been banged up the last few weeks, so I
I'm just
think he's
throwing it out
definitely
there.
playing. I don't think we're at the
Something to
point
note.
where we think he might not, but he's been a little bit banged up lately for sure. I mean, you can see it in even like the snap percentages the last 2 weeks, 63 and 70 compared to,
And he's still
you
been
know,
fucking awesome.
85, 90, and he's still fucking shit up. So exactly. But yeah, I don't think JJ plays. I don't think there's any reason to throw him out there.
He's cleared to play, by the way, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Ain't worried about it. Ain't worried about a thing. But yeah, JJ, I don't think he comes back this week. So gonna be one more week. That means he comes back week 14, right?
Yep.
So that is literally like the last week of the fantasy season. So if you traded for him thinking he was gonna come back after 4 weeks, I mean, it could have lost you your
Yeah,
season,
that
depending what you gave up. Yeah,
for
I don't think
show,
he
for
plays.
show.
I don't think he plays at all. We briefly had spoke about Kyron.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer on the 100% pure hopium.
Hey, listen, Diaz, talk to me really quick. 5-6. Basically game behind Seattle. One game, I believe. I'll check it out for you in a second. They do have Kansas City this next week. I don't think they're going to win that game. However, after that, listen to the Packers' next 3 games after the Kansas City game. New York Football Giants, home against Tampa Bay, at Carolina. I'll take my chances. I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. But I damn sure didn't think they were going to beat the Lions. I thought they were going to get their guts stomped out, and that would have been the end of the season. We were going to have some questions as to whether Jordan Love is the guy. And virtually in one game, I feel a lot different. And to be honest with you, the game against the Chargers as well started to make me feel better. And then I saw what he did against the Lions. So I have cautious optimism when it comes to the Packers, and maybe a little hopium as well. So the things I've said a couple of weeks ago, how I wanted to see Jordan Love play, turnover free, and be aggressive, right? Be aggressive, be efficient. Matt LaFleur called a hell of a game. I've been getting on Matt LaFleur's case for the majority of the season. Matt LaFleur called a hell of a game. So I feel really good about it. Like I said, we're probably going to lose to the Chiefs, but I'll take my chances against the Giants, the Bucks, and the Panthers.
Frank said, "Yep." Stevie said, "Gibson plays, then go Hall. Worked out. Started 1-5. Found y'all now 5-6. That's good
nice.
stuff, Frank. Almost there. Appreciate you,
Nice.
Frank. Appreciate you." Isaac said, "Kincaid's on bye next week. Who should he pick up? Henry or Juwan? Henry or Juwan, man?"
What's Hunter Henry? What's he been up to?
I don't know, but Juwan ain't shit.
Hunter Henry. Decent, not great. I mean, that Patriots offense stinks.
Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going Hunter Henry as well.
Anybody else on the on waivers, maybe? Any other options, Isaac?
Maybe a Tucker Kraft, right?
Just played.
With no, but I'm saying going forward.
Oh yeah, we're talking about next week, right? Kincaid on bye next week.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
no,
That's right. My bad. That's my fault. I wasn't even thinking about it. Yeah.
with
I don't like
Musgrave
it.
on the shelf. Musgrave's on IR.
I guess. I think I still like Henry, but
that's fair. There's a little more upside you would think with Kraft, no?
Is there? I mean, what did he do? Like, did he have like he had 2 catches. I mean, I don't know about upside, but 2 for 15. Not like Henry is doing much either, but yeah, give me Henry. Give me Henry. Still go Henry. I feel it though. Dia said that would put him at 8 and 7. Yep, they ain't catching the Vikings, so I ain't worried about it. Henry versus Chargers, Juwan versus the Lions. Diaz said, "Def not Juwan." That's what. Def not Juwana. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd rather empty slot than Henry. Better than Juwana, though. I mean, come on.
He is.
Frank said Tucker Kraft got him the TD for DFS.
Nice in DFS. That is solid.
He said Mayer's out there.
Yeah, Mayer is interesting. I have Mayer in 2 dynasty leagues actually. And I think Michael Mayer has some solid upside. He's played the last 2 games. He played pretty well. Okay, 5 targets on each game. Caught 7 balls for 65 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, Michael Mayer is interesting.
I think I'll just take Henry against the Giants. I mean, Mayer has got they play
Kansas City.
Yeah, they play KC.
City.
Casey's been a good defense. Like, yeah, give me. I'm still rolling with my boy Henry. Hudson's out there too. I mean, no.
I think at that point it's Hunter Henry, right? Against the
It's
Giants.
got to be Henry. It's just Henry. That's
Mayer. I will say Mayer's interesting. I know that Kansas City defense is fantastic. But Mayer's interesting to me.
Yeah, he's interesting, but all right, Kyron. It's Kyron who's coming back now. They got rid of Henderson and then they signed him back to the practice squad real quick. But is Kyron getting the full workload here? I mean, just popping off of Henderson like that?
I think so. If they just put Henderson right to the bench, if they just said bye-bye Henderson, I think they're going to clear the way to give Kyron 18 to 20 carries. I do.
Yeah, I mean, Royce had 17 carries last week, so
Mhm.
against Arizona, like, I like it. I really like Kyron this week. I
Yep.
think they're kinda showing that they're just gonna throw Kyron right back in there and give him the shit.
Yeah, I think I'm plugging Kyron in. If I have him, I'm plugging him in. I actually do have Kyron
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a league, but I have Pacheco and ETN in that league as well. So
Yes, I don't know if I'd play him over those guys, but
right, and I played Jaden Reed in the flex.
feel you.
Jaden Reed got the touchdown, so Kyron's
He
currently
played
on my
already,
bench,
so
but yeah,
yeah, you coulda
so
made the argument for the flex, but yeah, Reed already played, so it is what it is. Chase, let's talk about Chase. I mean, what the fuck? What are we expecting from Chase now? He did score the touchdown last week in garbage time and kinda save the week, but what are we thinking about Jamar Chase now? I mean, they're going against Pittsburgh as well.
I mean they had the 10 days, right? Because last time we saw them, it was a Thursday night, right? A week before Thanksgiving. So they get the 10 days to work Browning, kind of an extended bye week or a semi bye week, I should say. So I don't expect him to be the same Jamar Chase that we see with Joe Burrow, obviously. But if you have him, you have to play him. Like I don't think you can't not play Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? That's how it boils down to it for me. Like I'm not playing guys like Christian Watson, right, over Jamar Chase. I'm not doing that. As much as we like what Christian Watson did last week, it's tough. So I think if you have Jamar Chase, you still have to play him. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding, but I still listen. I think he'll get loose maybe once or twice a game. And if Browning can hit him, and listen, Browning doesn't have to throw him a deep ball. We've seen Jamar Chase catch a 5-yard slant. We've seen him catch bubble screens and go. So I think they'll try and work some of those types of opportunities into the game with Jake Browning. But don't expect crazy, Joe Burrow numbers. Like I said, obviously, but if Jamar Chase you have him, you have to play him. No.
Yeah, for sure. I think for sure. Yeah, there's no way you're not playing him. Oh, Isaac's up for
Just
next week.
unfortunate.
That's right. My bad, Isaac. I'm still going Hunter Henry. I'm still going Henry regardless. Mhm. Frank said, "Why was Kyron good? I think he just got goal line TDs." No, I felt the same exact way. That's why I wound up actually selling him in one league before he got injured. But yeah, he wasn't crazy efficient. He was just getting the work. He was just getting all the work. So it was just one
That
of
matters,
those
no?
yeah, of course. It was one of those inefficient things, but he's getting the goal line work, and that's the important part, right? I mean, even though he might not be that good or not running all over teams, like is he the one that's down there at the goal line scoring the touchdowns? And he is. So it is what it is. Now I don't like, I didn't love Kyron coming in, but he's the guy that's getting the opportunities, especially at the running back position. It's all about who's getting the opportunity, right? So
For sure. For sure.
yeah, just see. Yeah, we'll come back to that next week, Isaac. But right now it's going to be Henry. League I just sold Kamara, dude at 5'6" is contemplating selling off. He has JT, Javante, Dak, Purdy, Debo, G, Willie, Higgins, Achan. I'm thinking either what for JT, have 324 first, 225 first.
Hmm.
He wants to buy JT.
Yeah.
Um,
Start with one of each, a 24 and a 25. See if he'll bite.
if it's too late ones, yeah. I mean, it's probably going to cost you at the least. It could cost you more than the mid first. It could cost you too late first. I mean, I'd feel him out. I throw him a 24 first, the latest one you have, and like a second or something like that. I just kind of start there.
Yeah.
He might cost you 2 first.
Yeah. Open up the conversation. See what you can pry away. I think a 24 first and a 25 could net you that, and you're still left with plenty of draft capital.
Yeah, I just don't wanna start there, you know what I mean? Like, if we take it there,
Yeah.
then maybe that's a decision that, maybe you think about at that time, but I'd just start with the first and maybe a plus for now, then a first and a second or just see where he's at with it. Can you roll with the Cowboys D with the tough schedule coming up? Can we roll with the Cowboys D?
All right, let's check it out. They have
Sam,
Seattle,
what's up,
Philly,
Sam?
Buffalo, Seattle, Philly,
Mhm.
Buffalo, Miami, Detroit through the championship game, which is week 17.
That again?
Seattle,
Uh-huh,
Philadelphia,
uh-huh,
at Buffalo, at
uh-huh.
Miami, home against Detroit.
Mm. I mean, I don't know what better options if you've got any better options, than
I
that. I
think that
mean,
comes down to. I agree.
I'll just play the best option, the best play. Well, let's just check it out weekly. What do you guys think of this? Putting guys who are out on IR when they're not. Boy, I'm playing called me out. ESPN lets you, so hey, fuck it. Oh, I think that's just part of the league. I mean,
Yeah.
when can you put players on IR? I'm pretty sure that's just a
No,
setting, right?
what Isaac is saying is when a guy is ruled out, you can move him to the IR spot and free up another roster spot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
for, no?
Yeah. Well, no, if a guy's not on IR, like I know exactly what Isaac's saying. He's basically saying that if a guy is just out for 1 week, you can put him on
Yeah,
the IR spot.
yeah,
So listen, if it lets you do it, it
for
lets you
that.
do it. What's the problem? Yeah.
I mean, is he not out? I mean, the spot is there for guys who are out. I guess doesn't necessarily mean specifically like they have to be on the IR for you to put them on that IR spot. So, I mean,
Yep.
the rules are the rules. It's not like you're doing it and nobody else can. I mean, everybody else has the same
That's
opportunity that you do to do
yep.
that. So, I mean, that would be my argument for it. It's like, okay, well,
Yep.
everybody can do it. So, what's the problem? Like,
Yep.
you know,
Agreed.
Rams running back position is a premium. They have always produced even trash can acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Todd
true.
Gurley, right? Marshall
Henderson was
Falk.
producing like a RB2. You're right. Fantasy football, Barry Sanders. Smokey the Bandit. What up, Smokey? Full PPR, Bijan, Collins, or Addison.
Oof. Smokey, you're really tickling my fancy here, bruh, because that is a close one. It's close between Bijan and Nico. Addison's a solid play as well, with with JJ still on the IR, or JJ most likely not playing. Ooh, I think it might be Nico Collins here, man. As much as I would have a hard time benching Bijan with the way it looks like they want to get him the ball. God damn it. Because I know I know the one I say is the other guy's gonna go off. If I say bench Bijan, he's gonna have 22 for 100 and a touchdown. If I say bench Collins, he's gonna have 8 for 103 and a touchdown. I know it. It's between Bijan and Collins. You held my feet to the fire, Smokey. Give me Nico Collins, and I'm gonna fucking regret it tomorrow watching these games.
Yeah, I think it's not Addison. It definitely is either Bijan or Collins. I'm gonna go with Bijan. Fuck it. I mean, if I 20 plus totes last game, I mean, maybe something's changed with Arthur Smith, and I bet you he probably pulls some bullshit. But fuck it. I'll just go down. I'll go on the hill dying.
Yeah, I
I'm going.
can't be mad at
I'm just
that.
going
I
Bijan.
really
Fuck it.
can't.
Bryce, what's up, Bryce? Full PPR at flex. Here we go. Thielen,
Oof.
Schultz, or Kirk.
Woo! It might be Dalton Schultz.
Mm,
I think you're still rolling with Thielen, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's just nobody else there. Like, it's just Adam
I agree.
Thielen and nothing. I mean, I'll take 10 plus targets pretty much almost every game. I mean, I have
Yeah,
to go with Thielen against Tennessee as well. I mean, that's a good matchup.
in a full PPR. I know. I know.
I gotta go Thielen. I'm going Thielen. I know
Yeah,
he
and
hasn't been great, but
we
go with
try to
Thielen.
stay away from those tight ends. Yeah, he's getting double-digit targets. That's wild. Schultz is getting you to touchdowns. He's got 5 of those things, but yeah, it's Thielen.
Yes, Thielen. Isaac said White and Pierce are playing. So yeah, I mean Pierce is playing. I'm not gonna roll with Singletary. I'm just a little bit weary of what they're gonna do. I don't know. GHU Smokey, no problem. Mr.
Ye
Wiggles in the building. Thielen all the way.
mm,
Yeah, we're going with Thielen. I like the little dog pick
that's a
there,
badass
Mr.
icon,
Wiggles.
Wiggles. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a badass icon. I love that.
Isaac said he's got to treat Sharps like a bench guy. Top three RBs are better. Yeah, I mean, listen, it wasn't a great matchup for Sharps. I mean, as well. So
He's been okay. He hasn't been terrible, especially in PPR formats. He's just not giving you any touchdown upside, and that's fucking frustrating.
let's talk about the Steelers. They fired Matt Canada
Long time
finally.
coming.
And I heard there was a big rift in the locker room, something like that with Deontay and Fitzpatrick. Deontay was going off on the coaches, and I don't know, it was this whole thing. And now Canada's gone. So does that fix everything? Was Canada just the absolute problem, or is there something a little bit deeper here? Because Kenny Pickett's been pretty trash. So is it all Matt Canada? Is it fixed now with him gone, or are they still kind of the same old sad ass offense?
No, I don't think it was all Canada. Now, I do think he does deserve a lion's share of the blame because he's had this team in place for a couple of years now, right? It's been his offense for a couple of years and they've been bad for a couple of years. So I think the lion's share goes to Canada. And, I would say 20%, 25% goes on Kenny Pickett because he should be better, right? He has Deontay, he has Pickens, he has Fryermuth. I know he's been injured. He has Najee Harris. He has Jalen Warren. It's the lion's share goes to Matt Canada because he's been at the helm of this offense for a couple of seasons, I believe 3, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's been no growth, right? There's no imagination to it. So it's like he's the guy. So yeah, I think this was a long time coming, and I wouldn't say all their problems are solved because they still have the same players, right? Now, if you get a little bit more imaginative, maybe, right? That kind of remains to be seen in my estimation. So I'm very interested to see what they do. They're in a position to make a playoff run. I don't know how, but they are, and that's a credit to the defense, credit to Mike Tomlin. He's clearly a Hall of Fame coach. But
Mhm.
I'm really interested to see what they do in the next 2 to 3 weeks. They got the Bengals, which with no Joe Burrow, that looks like a very winnable game for the Steelers. And if the Steelers get to 7-4, you feel pretty good about their playoff chances. So it's and what makes it even look worse for the Steelers is what they did in the preseason is what makes what we're seeing this, during the regular season that much worse is because they were just going nuts in the preseason. So,
Mhm.
um, very interested to see what they do. Like I said, they have the Steelers coming up they have the Bengals coming up. And then after that, they get Arizona and New England. So they got chances to win some games here.
Yeah, I mean, why Deontay's not getting like 10-ish targets easily, I don't know, or how they're just not trying to get him the football with his ability to just get open. Like I don't understand it like the last couple weeks. I mean, he had 14 targets that week 8 game, his second game back. And then he had 9 the next game, had the 7 for 90 and a tutty, and then just the last 2 weeks, just absolute just
Disappeared.
trash. I mean,
Just disappeared.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. I don't think it's all Matt Canada's fault. I mean, I've been from the beginning kinda said I'd never liked Kenny Pickett. I don't know. I don't think if he's really that guy, or can he be? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. Just not looking good. Sucks for Deontay, sucks for Pickens. Everybody's fed up over there. Najee's talking shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Deontay's talking shit. Everybody's talking shit. Uh, I saw a Matt Canada play, well, 2 of them actually, where they scored touchdowns, and Kenny Pickett actually called the fucking audible on both of the plays, and you
There you
see
go.
just Canada's face, like, just not happy at all, just kinda just sat there with just a straight mug face. So
Yeah, Kenny
I don't
Pickett's
know.
got to be better. Like there's guys there, right? The cupboard's not bare.
Orlovsky trashed their play calling. Yeah, I mean, everything is horrible. The play calling, the everything. Absolutely everything. Brings us to our last little topic of the night is the battle between the Jags and the Texans for that first place spot, I believe. So
Yep. The
Cryptics in the
Texans one
building.
game
What up,
behind.
Cryptics? Was good. Already got my lineup set. Just wanted to stop by and say what's up. Appreciate that, Cryptics. Appreciate you. You the man. You the
For
man. Yeah,
sure.
Deontay Johnson and Minkin got into it, and then I heard like TJ Watt and somebody else had to like get in the middle of it and break it up. But yeah, apparently he was, saying shit to the coaches and Tomlin, and then they had some kind of fucking meeting, and it's just a fucking mess. It's just one of those just messes. Like
And what's wild is they're 6-4. They're 6-4 with a very favorable schedule over the
oh,
next 3 games.
they're always in it somehow,
Yeah.
some way with
S-
no fucking quarterback. Every year they're still fucking somehow in it.
That's that's Mike Tomlin, dude. Mike
Mac
Tomlin is
Jones
a
will
hell of a
start
coach.
tomorrow, Cryptic said. Mac Jones getting the start. I've got a QB2 in one of my 2 QB leagues now. Let's go.
Feel good about that? You feeling spicy about Whack Jones,
Feel
right?
better than having nobody in the spot. I mean, because it's not super flex, it's
Touche.
actual 2 QB, so it's
Yeah. Touche.
rough, rough. But yeah, Jags Texans. We've got a hot CJ Stroud, a hot Tank Dell, a hot Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Pierce should be back. We've got the Jags, who just had a good last game. Ridley finally getting back on track. Is that going to continue, or do we just go back to what it was before? So, few questions
Oof.
obviously in this game, and then obviously who's going to take the crown or the division as of right now. So, what do you think about the game, Hammer? Who do you think you're rolling with here? What you thinking?
This is a tough one. So currently the Texans are a 1.5 point underdog at home. So Jacksonville favored on the road. Now, well, concerning note for Houston, it's been good. It's been a lot better than we expected, right? 6-4. CJ Stroud is turning the ball over a little bit more than he has through the first, obviously whatever it was, 9, 10, 11 weeks. So CJ Stroud, if he cleans up the turnovers, I think the Texans win this game. If CJ Stroud starts turning the ball over like he has been the last 2 weeks or so, then I think Jacksonville wins this game. So I'll put it that way. I would take Houston. I don't feel confident about it because I do think it's a really good matchup, a matchup I'm looking forward to. Not the matchup that I thought would decide the division, to be honest with you. I thought Jacksonville would just run away and hide with this thing at this point, right? We're post Thanksgiving. So shit is getting real.
Mhm.
But man, Houston is way ahead of schedule. If Houston gets this game, they win the division, in my opinion. And I think that just builds their confidence. They're like, hey, we could tussle with the big boys. Jacksonville won the division last year, won a playoff game last year. So if CJ Stroud can handle business at home and beat the Jaguars, I do think the Texans win the division. They got the weapons, right? They got Nico, they got Tank, they got Schultz, they got Singletary and Damian Pierce for what that's worth. they got the weapons, and the Jaguars have been a little shaky. I think it's very surprising to see how shaky the Jaguars have been and to see them 7-3. Maybe that's a product of that terrible division.
Mhm.
But to see the Jaguars at 7-3 not playing probably as well, and you can flip it to the other side, which is, hey, Jacksonville really hasn't played their best ball, and they're 7-3. So imagine they
Yeah.
do start playing their best ball, then what? So I do think I'll take Houston. I would take the point as well. I'll take the +1.5, and roll with Houston at home. It wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville won though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'm gonna still roll with Jacksonville here, but I mean, you're right. I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times. I mean, Jacksonville just doesn't look like they've got like an identity almost like on offense. So
Mm-hmm.
is that something they've now unlocked with like being, getting Rivley involved more? I mean, I don't know. So it's been weird, and I do like the Texans as well, but I think the Jags are gonna wind up coming out with this and taking the division. But Stroud's been awesome, so can't take that away at all. Cats took over. Full PPR start Singletary if Pierce sits. Looks like Pierce is gonna play, but you never know, guys, what could happen before the game because all
Mm-hmm.
the we've seen plenty of times where guys get banged up or are not playing all of a sudden just because they went out and tried to warm up. So, but all right, full PPR Singletary, Douglas or Dortch.
Dortch is not in this conversation. It's between Singletary and Douglas.
Is he
I
not? You don't like
do.
Dortch?
I'm not feeling Dortch.
We still have Hollywood, who is. I don't think they've officially. Did they officially say that he's playing yet? I know he's been questionable. I mean, Dortch last game 6 for 76 on 8 targets. With Michael Wilson now. Michael Wilson already ruled out for this game. So just throwing that in there.
That's fine. I actually had Dortch on one of my dynasty teams, and he was just taking up a roster spot.
Yeah, 6 for 84 for Douglas on 9 targets. So I mean, it's not like he's not involved either. Going against the
Yeah,
Giants.
it's between Douglas or Singletary for me. If it's full PPR, give me Douglas.
Yeah, it is full PPR, so I'm not gonna go Singletary because I'm pretty sure that Pierce is gonna wind up playing. It's either gonna be Douglas or Dortch here, and I think you can go with
Singletary.
either one of these guys. I think man, I like Dortch. Douglas has been Douglas has been good.
Singletary gives you nothing in the passing game.
So give me Dortch. Fuck it. I think Douglas is not a bad play. He's a good play as well, but give me Dortch just because like he'll be a receiver that Kyler actually knows a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Especially if Marquise Brown is out. I mean, I'll take 8 targets, 6 for 8, 76 yards. I mean, take it. I mean, the only real difference is that, Douglas is probably like the wide receiver one-ish kind of on his team because there's everybody else is pretty trash. But yeah, give me Dortch. Give me a little Dortch with a little Kyler running around back there. Frank just got invited to a DFS Superflex tourney. What is the strategy? I never played Superflex before. So if it's DFS, I mean, Superflex is basically you can start 2 QBs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
obviously a QB in that Superflex spot is a lot better than you know, Demario Douglas
Any other position?
or any other position, right? Because quarterbacks will score more points than pretty much any other position up to a certain extent, right? We're not starting, Boyle, right?
If you got Cheetah,
So
or yeah, right.
yeah, so typically, you take the quarterbacks higher. You want to get good quarterbacks because they're going to score you, like Hammer said, the most points, and you want to have that advantage against your opponent. So just think about it. If everybody's starting 2 quarterbacks, that's what, 24? If it's a 12 team, and there's
And you got
probably how many actual good quarterbacks that are going to give you decent points? I mean,
12 to 15.
Yeah, 12 to 15, exactly. So, if you can get 2 of those top 12-ish guys, like,
Mhm.
that would
Yep.
be big, but also, like, is it, like, 4-point passing touchdown or 6-point? Like, because that does kinda make a difference as well. Like, with 4-point, I think you can push up the position players a little bit more than it would be for 6-point, so Zay is the key, Isaac said. Yep, when he plays, they're more dynamic, yeah.
Talk about Zay Jones.
I've seen that. Yeah, Zay Jones, that's when, Ridley's been going off when Zay's been able to play, so Diaz says, "Here's what he sent: a Deshaun Watson, 224 mid late first and a second for Dak, JT, and Javonte."
Mm.
Okay. QBs are Mahomes, Dobbs, and Mac Jones. RBs are just Hunt and Mixon. Wide receivers, Hollywood, Lockett, Flowers, Sutton, Mayer. So you'd be getting for 2 mid to late, you'd be getting Dak, JT, and Javonte, and you're giving up Deshaun.
Yeah, because then you solidify your QB2 with Mahomes and Dak. We don't know what Dobbs' situation is gonna be next year. Mac Jones is garbage. You're upgrading your running backs for sure with JT and Javante, right? Hunt, probably not a lot of staying power for next year. Mix in as well, same deal. So I like that. Your wide receivers are a little lacking in terms of big play guys. I know Hollywood's still pretty good. Lockett's getting older. Flowers is still young, so Sutton's a touchdown machine. So you're getting some production right now. Um, I don't mind that, honestly.
I just don't wanna buy I just don't wanna buy the running
Yeah.
backs if I'm
I-
not, like, set at wide receiver, right? Hollywood, like, yeah, he's great, but, I mean, they have a high pick. There's a chance they just draft a great wide receiver, there's a chance they draft a wide receiver there. Tyler Lockett, obviously a little bit older. I mean, Zay Flowers, yeah. I mean, Sutton, meh. I mean, I just think I want to round out my wide receiver room better or first before I go and buy a JT and Javante. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's something we definitely talk about as well. You're upgrading for sure, but like Steve said, you're spending your assets at the running back position. So, and how
Yeah,
long is that going to last, right?
I just think I'd rather it's like if I'm gonna spend that kind of capital, like I think I'd rather it not be on 2 running backs. So when I get Dak, I mean, that's fine, but I just don't know if I wanna spend all that to get 2 running backs.
That makes sense.
What else can I get with those 2 mid-late firsts, Can I just go buy Chase with the 2 firsts and Deshaun Watson? I mean, I don't know.
It's possible.
Depends on your league, what you can get here. Torch to the porch, Isaac said.
That's right. I like that.
But, Katz is right, this is what I'm saying, that's why I'm a little bit more for Dortch than Hammer is. Dortch has been a target hog with one of the wide receivers out in the past. Yes, that's absolutely true, absolutely true. Ingram at tight end, he also had Kittle, Debo, G. Willie. What you guys think? Yeah, like, I'd rather buy a G.
You could get a
Willie.
good
I'd
buy,
rather
Yeah, you could get a good buy low on Garrett Wilson and get that
you
thrown
know,
in the
I'd ra
package.
I'd rather spend those assets on a G. Willie than I do on a JT, Like, I don't know if your team is just a JT away from being, a contender, so if I can get a guy like G. Willie, I wanna do that, you could try and buy JT later on or when you're ready, but I think I'd rather spend it on wide receivers and fixing up that aspect of my team than spending it on the running backs, unless it's a shallower league, which I doubt, Diaz, because I know you play in typically what we play in, like Superflex Start 10, so unless there's something different with the format, let me know, but if it's one of those typical formats that we play, I don't think I wanna do it.
Yeah, investing a lot of capital in the running back position, it's just going to come back to haunt you sooner rather than later, right? I know JT got the contract, but listen, we've seen plenty of running backs get contracts and then 2 years later they're getting cut, you know?
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley can't even get a fucking contract. So Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs.
I asked because I'm gonna sell him, Lockett, and Sutton for 224 seconds. Okay, then he told me he was considering selling off. I guess I'm on that hopium I would still
There it
have an
is.
early first and a 24, not my own, still have 225 first, so I could, in theory, still fix wide receiver, if not for this playoffs in the off season. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say about that is I don't wanna go out and buy these running backs, and then now you don't have enough to go get, like, a Chase that's available or a JJ or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather fix the wide receiver room first, and then what I have left over, then I'll try and piece the running back room together. I don't wanna do it the opposite way, you know what I mean? I'd rather go after, some big gun wide receivers with the capital that I have before I go out and do, something with the running backs. And, but, like, I feel what you're saying. I know you still feel comfortable because you're still gonna have an extra first, and you're still gonna have an early first, and you're still gonna have the 225 first. Like, I get it, but I think I just wanna, I wanna fix what I wanna fix first while I have everything that I have, because I don't wanna go and spend and then not have enough to get the guy like I really, really would wanna have at wide receiver. So, what do you think, Hammer?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. You don't want to, like you said, you don't want to shoot your shot on running backs because then at the end of the day, somebody, like you said, like boom, Jamar Chase becomes available and somebody's like, hey, I need two first plus. And you're like, damn, I only got one first, and I really don't have that plus anymore because I traded for JT and Javante. So that you don't want to leave yourself in that situation. And listen, we talk about it all the time in terms of the value running backs versus wide receivers, man. It's not even close, right? Running backs, you hope to get
Mhm.
4 good years. Wide receivers, you're looking at about double that, especially for those primetime guys like Garrett Wilson, JJ Chase, Marvin Harrison, most likely coming into this draft. You're gonna get at least 8 years out of those guys of primetime play.
Yeah. Isaac said, "Who's going number 1 in Dynasty?" So for Superflex,
It's Caleb.
it's the what?
It would be Caleb in Superflex, depending on what that
Oh,
team
for rookie.
needs.
Yeah, I mean, for rookie drafts for sure. But just in general, let's just say for dynasty, right? Superflex is obviously going to be the quarterback. So you can make the
Mahomes,
argument for
Allen,
kind of
3 or
whoever you
4.
want between, right, Mahomes, Allen, and Jalen Hurts. Almost like either of those guys, whoever you kind of like more. I mean, you can make the argument that Mahomes will probably last the longest out of them, but you could argue that Josh Allen's just been basically QB1 for how many years now in a row? Last year, obviously, he didn't, because of the Hamlin injury, didn't get to even finish that game. So, otherwise, he could have been QB1 again. So, I think you can make the argument for any 3 of those guys for Superflex, and then for non-Superflex, it's either gonna be, JJ or Chase for
Throw
sure.
McCaffrey in there. I know
You
he's getting a
could
little
throw
bit
McCaffrey
older.
in there. I would throw McCaffrey in there for maybe a more shallower type of league, maybe like a start 8-ish, start 9 maybe. Well, then it would be 1 QB, so yeah, if it's 1 QB, maybe a start 8, you could argue for McCaffrey, but I think JJ or Chase will probably be the first overall pick, and I think that's gonna matter depending on who's the Vikings QB, right? If we know that
Mm,
Kirk is coming back, I think a lot of people will put JJ first, even still. But I think if he's not the QB, I think people will start to put Chase first.
makes
What do
sense.
you think? Who's going number
Yeah,
1?
no, it makes sense. And I think, like you said, the situation matters. We know Burrow and Chase are going to be together for, I don't want to say their whole career, but for the foreseeable future, right? For a very long time. Let's just put it that way. So I think that's why the quarterback situation in Minnesota matters so much and what they do. Now, I do think that with this injury, I do think Kirk Cousins comes back on maybe a little bit of a discounted price because he likes playing there. They're a good offense, right? And they're not particularly old either. He's like the only old guy in that skill position. They traded for Hawkinson. They drafted Addison, which has turned out to be absolute found gold. He's the perfect complement to Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson is an absolute stud. So I think that I think that Kirk Cousins should want to go back, and they should want him back, in my estimation.
Yeah, I feel you. What would you pay for G. Willie? Diaz said, because he knows the guy is high on him. You can't give him any win now pieces, right? Because you said he's the 5-6 team, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think he's in the 7th spot. I think he's playing them this week as well, if I wasn't mistaken.
Do you have 2 of the late 24s in a piece, or maybe 2 late 24s and a 25? I mean, it's gonna be at least 2 firsts, at the least. And if he's high on him, I mean, woof.
Just open the negotiation, right? Open it. See what he wants. I think that it has to start somewhere. So it's not even what you're willing to pay; it's what the guy's willing to take at that point, right? So
True.
that's kind of how you have to look at it. So open the conversation,
Think
Diaz. See if you can get him, but see if you can include him in that deal that you're currently making. Maybe take JT out of there, slot in Garrett Wilson, and see if you can kind of include him in the package and
that's
just
true too.
ball it all into one, because that might be appealing enough where he's getting Deshaun Watson, he's getting a bunch of picks, right, and he's keeping Jonathan
Probably the best
Taylor's.
bet. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. That's a really good idea. That's probably the best bet because, I mean, just put yourself in that guy's shoes, right? I'm not making the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. I've got a young one of the best wide receivers in the league in Garrett Wilson. What incentive do I have really, to come off of him if I'm not winning this year? Most likely Aaron Rodgers is back next year, right? So, I think you're right. You might have to offer that deal. Just take him out and put in Willie. Caleb or Marvin, I mean, in one QB, it's gonna be
I
Marvin,
think
of
that
course.
Yeah, I think that was part of that original question. Who goes
Yeah.
first?
Superflex is probably still Caleb, but you can make the argument for Marvin. I mean, we'll see what happens as we get closer. That's good advice. Thank you guys. Both of you are a voice of reasons for me. Appreciate you, Diaz. That means a lot. Guess I was that dude who didn't want to give up the toxic girlfriend, so was trying to hold on because I'm in 6th.
You know what, Diaz? I find myself in that boat almost every single year. And you know what? Make a decision and stick with it, right? I think we talked about that on one of the previous episodes where it's like, be honest with yourself, right? That was one of the things that we talked about, and just make a decision and roll with it and go full bore. So that's kind of how you have to look at it. But that toxic girlfriend analogy is pretty spot on.
Yeah, said no. It's the 8th. Okay, it's the 8th place guy. He has 2 mid. I have 2 mid to late 24 first. Yeah, if you can give up to 2 late and like what you had before, like Hammer said, that package just sub out JT, at least just to start a conversation
Mm-hmm.
and then kinda take it from there, but it'll probably definitely cost you that those 2 late ones or those 2 mid to late ones and a piece, possibly even one of those 25 first, and I don't know what your quarterback situation is like, if you're okay with spending all of that capital, I mean, on one
Well,
guy, so
he would have he would get Dak to pair with Mahomes, right? If he gives up Deshaun Watson, is that the same trade we're talking about? Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
he would get Dak to slot in there. He has Dobbs. Maybe offer Dobbs up as well. I don't think that's worth much, but to a guy that's an 8th. But listen, fuck it. Just try, like you said, like Steve said, open the conversation, see what you can do. I would start with the framework of that trade, sub out JT, put Wilson in there, and kind of work the frame from there.
Feel you. Technically, is playing all the tanking teams 3 weeks in a row, finish the season, thinks he still might be able to win, which is
Mm.
why I offered the 2. Oh, okay. So, yeah, for sure then. For sure. Mahomes, Dobbs, and Wack Jones.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if you could nag the QB, that'd be awesome. But it's tough because Dak has, like, been kinda on fire lately, so
You compare Dak with Mahomes, that would be fantastic, and get Garrett Wilson to boot. Oof. Or would you just take out would you just take out Javante and JT and just get Dak and Garrett Wilson for that package?
Say that again?
Would you just take out the running backs altogether? You give up Deshaun, the 2 firsts, and just get Dak and Garrett Wilson, right?
If you could. Yeah, if you could.
I'm just throwing I'm just the thing
Could.
that in Diaz's situation, there's a
Put up.
framework to a deal. There's a framework to a deal to be had, clearly.
Mhm.
So you just tinker around with some of those parts, and I think you should be able to get something done.
Dobbs a future Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Hey, he's a future Hall of Famer if you're talking about science.
Mhm.
No, Dobbs has been good, man. He wasn't good last week, but he's been relatively good.
Guys, throw any last questions you guys got in the chat. We'll be getting off here shortly. We'll hang around for a couple of minutes. Get any last questions that you guys have. Appreciate everybody for coming out as usual. We'll see y'all
Yeah,
tomorrow
buddy.
morning as well, about 11:30 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I
Getting
got to
these
get this
last
internet situation, bro. I
getting these
actually
last
called
second start sits.
so I called them yesterday, and their earliest the apartment that we're in now is already set up for Verizon. Like there's already a Verizon thing here, but the problem is the box is so far away that they have to run the line from the garage into our apartment. So I have it, in here physically in the apartment, the router. So I just have to use the Wi-Fi that's here now, but hopefully it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Showing 2 firsts, a second for Dak, Garrett, and Javante. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
See what happens from
Mhm.
there. See what
Yep.
happens from there, and just take it from there. Because that means shit. That makes your team, like, way better.
A million times better, and that puts you Diaz, if you land this trade, you have a legitimate shot to compete now. I mean, the Garrett Wilson thing, your wide receivers are still going to be a little iffy because of the quarterback situation. But listen, you set yourself up for next year either way. So
I think he might have to take out Javante in this,
that's,
possibly.
but hey, listen, you
That's what I'm
start, like you said, you start there and see what happens.
yeah. 'Cause I'm just thinking I'm just barely, like, thinking of it now. I mean, what is it? Deshaun in a first get you to Dak. Possibly more if you'd say, if you wanna tax because, Deshaun
Deshaun's hurt
obviously
and
is not
Dak's been
playing,
amazing.
and Dak's been amazing, like, and then you're asking for Garrett as well, but yeah, it's a fine place to start. Let's see what he says from there and kinda take it from there, man, you know? Verizon sucks, recently moved, did the same thing, Optimum, which was better for Isaac. Left Lockett and Sutton for 224 seconds on the table just in case he had hopium. Man, fuck it, throw him in the deal.
Sweeten the pot for sure. I'd throw Lockett in there or
I don't
Sutton
give
for
a
that matter.
fuck, throw it, yeah.
Yeah.
Throw Lockett in there, and maybe even 1 second is good if you just add Lockett to that one deal, but anyway.
My bad, Steve. I didn't mean
Yep.
for my team to go ham on you in the sub league this week. I'm sorry.
1 week, all of your dudes go
Yeah.
off, bro.
Yep. Yep.
One
Finally, I
week.
get something.
Yep. You trade Khalil to get Reed or Pop?
The answer is yes. I'd probably go for Jaden Reed. He's probably going to be a little bit harder to get because he is playing really well on a team that looks,
Mhm.
to be turning the corner offensively anyway and defensively, really. But yeah, if you could give up Khalil Herbert and get Jaden Reed, go for it right now. Smash it.
Yeah. They hammer to push up so my picks can drop down.
I know what Diaz is doing. Diaz has been doing this
Mhm.
dance with Diaz has been doing this dance with Bagala with these picks. So Delano's getting the
2, 3
101.
top 4 picks. Yeah, that's true. That's true. For sure. That's
Listen,
true
Diaz,
for sure.
I'm always trying to win. I'm not the type to tank. It's just not in my nature to lose or to put, a losing product out there. So that's just my mentality. I'm going for the gusto every single week. I don't care.
All right, guys, we're about to hop up out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Yep.
We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Good luck to everybody this week. We are in the playoff push, so good luck.
Do
Good
it.
freaking luck. All right, guys. Peace.